What happens when a sitting president threatens to jail a congresswoman for reading a document out loud? The moment President Trump leaned into the microphone and said, "Jasmine Crockett should be in jail," the room didn't just go silent, stopped breathing. The air in the White House briefing room was thick enough to choke on. Reporters sat stiff-backed, pens hovering over notepads like daggers waiting to drop. Cameras hummed under the glare of hot lights, their lenses fixed on the president's face, a face twisted into something between rage and triumph. He hadn't bothered with pleasantries, no scripted remarks, no rehearsed charm, just a stack of papers shuffled once, then ignored as he went straight for the kill. "A radical in Congress," he began, voice sharp as a blade, "is spreading lies, encouraging rebellion, trying to rig the system for her own people." He didn't say her name at first. He let the accusation hang, let the room squirm. Then, slow and deliberate, he carved it into the silence. Jasmine Crockett. The way he said it like a verdict. She should be investigated. Frankly, she should be jailed. For 3 heartbeats, no one moved. Then chaos. Pens scratched furiously. Phones lit up with frantic alerts. Someone in the second row stammered, "Mr. President, are you ordering the DOJ to Trump cut them off? We're looking into it. She's dangerous." Behind him, aides exchanged glances. This wasn't politics anymore. This was a threat, naked and unashamed. Outside, the clip exploded. Within minutes, it was everywhere. TikTok stitches, Twitter threads, cable news chirons, screaming "President threatens Congresswoman with jail." But the real explosion wasn't online. It was in living rooms, in break rooms, in the quiet spaces where ordinary people watched and felt something old and familiar stir. This has happened before. Jasmine Crockett wasn't in the briefing room when the president spoke. She was 1,300 miles away in her Dallas office, feet propped on her desk, scrolling through legal briefs when her chief of staff burst in. "You need to see this." The screen flashed to life. Trump's face, his words, the room's stunned silence. She watched it once, then again. Her expression didn't change, but something inside her did. This wasn't just an attack. It was a test. How far will they let him go? 3 days earlier, she'd stood on the steps of a Fort Worth courthouse, a cheap microphone in her hand and a crowd of 24 locals at her back. No national press, no fanfare. Just her voice cutting through the Texas heat as she read aloud. From Trump's newest executive order, the one buried under benign phrases like election security and federal oversight. "Look at Section 4B, she'd said, highlighter dragging across the page. "They can move polling places out of black neighborhoods if someone tweets a rumor about unrest. That's not security, that's sabotage." A local reporter had filmed it. The clip barely made the evening news, but it reached the wrong people now. As the president's threat echoed across the country, Jasmine picked up her phone and opened her email. 2 leaked DOJ memos glared back at her, one ordering staff to align with the president's priorities on voting laws, the other calling her a disruption to administrative unity. She hadn't released them yet, but the decision was already made. "We're going live," she told her team. "No filters, no spin, just me." The next morning, at 8:09 a.m., Jasmine Crockett's face appeared on screens across America. No studio, no makeup artist, just her, a shaky phone camera, and a desk cluttered with papers. "Good morning," she said, calm as a surgeon. "Let's talk about why the president wants me in jail." For 22 minutes, she did what no one expected. She read highlighted clauses from the executive order, quoted the DOJ emails word for word, held up pages like evidence in a trial. "This isn't about me," she said, tapping the paper. "It's about who they're scared of you, your vote, your voice." By the time she finished, #StandWithJasmine was trending in every state. Not because she'd yelled, not because she'd begged, because she'd proven it. Protests didn't start in big cities first. They bloomed in places like Boise and Bismarck, quiet towns where people gathered outside. Courthouses with handmade signs and shaky voices. A 93-year-old woman in Savannah mailed Jasmine a letter. "I recited the Constitution to vote in 1962. They turned me away. Don't stop." Then came the whistleblowers. The DOJ staffer who leaked more emails. The senator who broke ranks. Headlines shifted. DOJ admits internal pressure. Senate freezes executive order. And Jasmine, she kept going. Not with rallies, but with a quiet, relentless push, drafting a new voting rights bill. Sitting in classrooms with kids, walking through her district like nothing had changed. Because to her, it hadn't. This was never about winning, she told a room of high schoolers. It's about making sure the next person doesn't have to fight this hard just to be heard. When the powerful try to silence one voice, why does it always wake 1,000 more? Have you ever seen a moment where truth broke through the noise? Share your story.